what is that Grinch line? It's, or perhaps I could be in bed by 9:30 and stare at the ceiling and then slowly drift into madness. Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Reactions Units. I'm Corbin.
I'm Rick.
And you can follow on Instagram and Twitter for more juicy content. We just got out of a movie.
Slow descent into madness.
That's true. And that is a pretty good description of this film. Mm-hmm. We watched The Lighthouse.
Yes.
Down in Hollywood.
Yes.
It is a...
With Willem Dafoe.
With Willem Dafoe. There was a Q&A after the film, and Willem and the director were there. And so the interview was terrible, but it was cool hearing
especially hearing Willem Dafoe talk about how he works.
Talk, and then we would like to hear more from the director, but that's neither here nor there.
It's neither here, there, or everywhere.
It is directed by Robert Eggers, I believe.
Is it Eggers or Eggers?
I don't know. And written by him and his brother
Max.
Yeah. And then read the synopsis for me real quick.
The hypnotic and hallucinatory tale of two lighthouse keepers on a remote and mysterious New England island in the 1890s. Yep. That's what you're gonna get.
That's what you're gonna get. And we starring Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. And
that's it. And some seabirds.
Yep. And this will be a mostly non-spoiler, and then if we want to get into some spoilers,
right, we can do that. We'll let you know.
But since it's new, we watched the trailer and we loved it.
Oh.
And I think we got exactly what we expected.
The trailer is exactly what you're going to get.
If you were intrigued by the trailer, I think you will enjoy the film.
Yes.
Because it is a slow character study into basically, what is it called when you've been in a room alone?
Cabin fever.
Cabin fever.
Yeah.
It's basically a story about a cabin fever in a lighthouse.
Yes.
With two men.
With two guys, and you go crazy with them.
Yeah.
And if you love cinema, you're gonna have a grand old time because it's
tons of homages to old school, like not just old school Hollywood, but like old school B-roll Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like Nosferatu, those black and white type films.
Yeah, not just the Hitchcockian stuff, which right at the beginning, obviously, if it's a black and white film and it's creepy, you're gonna think Hitchcock, which is a great homage and a shout out. But yeah, it's the old black and white horror stuff like Nosferatu.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And the director, who we could talk about first, does a phenomenal job. I mean, Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, amazing.
Yes,
we'll talk about them. But Robert Edgerton. Sorry, there's two Roberts.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's Eggers. I think it's Eggers.
Eggers.
Yeah.
Phenomenal job.
Great job.
About just the whole storytelling of the film, but also just. This is, like we were talking about when we left the film, this is a film that could have been very, very, very boring. And some of you might think it's boring if you're not into acting and just watching good cinema.
Yeah. This is not a movie. This is a film. This is cinema.
Yeah. Yes. So you might think it's quite boring, but this is a film that could have been extremely boring.
In the wrong hands, this would have been a snooze fest.
It's a film that doesn't have a ton of dialogue. It just has two people, no action really. I get it, you know. And it's also in black and white.
Right.
So it was setting itself up for failure.
Yeah.
And in our opinion, it completely did exactly what I was hoping it would.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing that I was surprised by, because I was really waiting to see, because we've not seen Robert Pattinson do anything like this before.
Yeah, he's done one other thing that I keep forgetting the name of, but I thought he did really well in that film. And so he's stepped it up even more.
Oh yeah, to work with Willem Dafoe, it's clear that, you know, when you're working with a guy the caliber of Willem Dafoe, he's going to bring the best out of you.
I feel like he's wanting to become an artist.
100%.
And I feel like that's what he probably always thought he was, and then obviously the studios tried to turn him into something else that he didn't want to be.
Yes.
But he did phenomenal. But yeah, the director with such beautiful symmetrical shots, very similar to our Indian followers, Vishal Bhardwaj, in terms of his old school cinema style, in terms of just making beautiful,
but the
rough shots.
Rough shots, but his were in a way like Vishal is a little bit messier, like
Yeah.
more Beethoven-y, like we've talked about.
He's like a blend of...
yeah, really. If it was lit, we probably would have thought he was a little bit more Sanjay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he was. There were some shots that I was watching and I thought, wow. Even there's one shot I thought, good job, sound people, because when in the very, very opening sequence, this isn't a spoiler because it's the very, very opening of the film. There's a sequence where the camera is following Pattinson from one room into the other in the bottom of the...
Oh, yeah, that was great.
And you know it's a steady cam walk. Mm-hmm. But as far as sound is concerned, the only thing you're getting are his footsteps and the creaks of the place and the wind. So the whole...
we could talk about the score too. Score is one of the big stars of this film. And it sets itself out in it almost like the horns that it gave, which you thought were the boat. But, you know, it could have been so many... I'm not going to do spoilers right now, but, like, it could have been so many things. But, like, the way he decided to use the score as a character in the film.
It reminded me of the way Paul Thomas Anderson used the score in There Will Be Blood. Because the trajectory that you go with Daniel Plainview's character is also a slow descent into madness. Nothing like this.
Yeah.
But the way, I remember at one point watching There Will Be Blood, it's the sequence with the fire and the oil, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to put it out. Mm. And I remember listening to, at that point, the score was so impressive to me, I was thinking, that's got to be nominated for an Oscar. This score is so good. I felt the same way with this score. I felt like it's another character telling us the story. This is it's a three-person movie. Yeah. It's these two people and the score.
Oh, yeah.
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 And it's fantastic.
Another compliment there to the director. Mm-hmm. Just the whole, like, everything. He did not have a weak part of this film.
No.
He totally knocked out of the park in all aspects.
Not a moment it lags. I mean, it's got a quick clip for a runtime.
Yeah. 140, basically.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It should.
It should.
Because, you know, as beautiful as he is and how well he writes it and how well he cuts the shots and everything, it could still get boring if he lets it linger. And he did.
I was not at any point bored, ever.
Me either.
Not once.
Yeah. It was.
I was riveted the whole time. I was like, what's going to happen next? What's going to be said next?
And this is one of those films that, like we said, if we want to go into spoilers, we will a little bit later. That you can, it leaves it up for your interpretation 100%. At the end, which we love. So we won't spoil that for you. But it's a thinker, and it turns it on itself multiple times. So you think it's going to end one way, and then it's like no, and then it's like no.
And if you really love like classic soliloquy theater moments where actors just are given such lyrically picturesque words to play with, and the director's just gonna sit on a close-up for 5 minutes while the actor gets to take these beautiful words written by the screen writer. You get quite a bit of that in this.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe knocked it out of the park.
Just great.
He will be nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah,
100%. Pattinson might be. He could definitely make a strong case for supporting.
The Globes would put him in supporting, probably, as with the SAGs.
Yeah.
Even though they're co-stars.
Yeah, we'll have to see what else comes out, of course. But Willem will definitely be nominated.
He absolutely should
be. He had the character, of course, to be nominated.
Yeah.
And he was given so many opportunities for epic monologues that he had to nail. Because the director they were like 4-minute monologues, and the director was like, upshot here on you this entire time.
Yep.
I'm not cutting.
Yep. Just your eyes.
Yes. Oh, that was so many shots where it's just they make it. It's old school Hollywood. It was almost a Nosferatu shot at some point.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he. That's probably the most reminiscent film of the way he used not just black and white, the way he used shadow.
And apparently, it's a pretty important film to the director.
Yeah,
he
loves Nosferatu, a reboot of it.
And apparently, he did a film called The Witch that we never saw. That was apparently a big hit. But he's a really good writer in terms of, because this is it's in old English.
Yeah, and this isn't. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion. This isn't for the kids because it's cinematic and it's film
and rated R.
And it's rated R for a reason. it gets flat out creepy in some spots. You're like, dang.
Oh yeah,
in the best way.
It gets weird.
It gets really weird.
But yeah, they do so well together. It's if you're an actor, you're gonna love it because you just get to see two actors go at it, and they both do amazing. Robert Pattinson is his best role he's ever done, in my opinion.
Oh, and hands down, he really, if he was hoping, that was fun to hear them talk about their process.
Yeah.
What Willem Dafoe did. He talked about the way they both approached their roles, and they're two very different roles, and he pointed that out. But he said for this particular film, because of Willem Dafoe's theater background, he tends to work like most theater actors want to work, where they just want to keep doing it over and over again. It doesn't ever get stale. Because as an actor in theater, you're doing 8 shows a week and you're doing the show for months on end. So it never there's always something new. There's always something new. A lot of people in film, and it depends on the character, don't want to rehearse. Mm-hmm. Like Daniel Day-Lewis and De Niro, I think, are known for not wanting to rehearse a lot because they want it to just happen on film. They don't want to have something wonderful happen and it not be caught. And maybe that was the best thing that'll happen was in rehearsal. So they had that tension, and Dafoe pointed out that it was really based upon the characters they were doing lended to that, and you'll know it when you see the film. The Defoe's character is much more theatrical and has a lot more dialogue, especially up front, whereas Pattinson's, I could see why Pattinson wouldn't want to rehearse that a lot.
Yeah, and I could see, I've done both in multiple things where like some like it's you want to rehearse it a lot.
You do, it depends.
Get it right,
especially physical stuff.
Yeah.
Like he pointed out, you have to rehearse the shots to know where the frame is and how much. Especially they do so much physical work. You need to know where you are in frame to not get out of frame for what the director's shooting.
Honestly, I like rehearsing a lot. Honestly, I like the surprise factor for other actors.
Oh,
100%. I don't want them to know what I'm doing,
right?
So they can react, and it helps them.
Absolutely,
and then their reaction will help me.
I don't know. Dafoe didn't talk about this. I don't know if Robert is the kind of director who will shoot rehearsal.
Yeah.
If I'm directing, I'd film every freaking thing.
Yeah.
You know,
it's one of those.
I would film everything because you may catch something.
Yeah, and the director, it was a ton of homages, like we said, in terms of shooting. Everything apparently was practical. And this, which is a very old school thing to do.
And here's a little tidbit for you in case you don't find it out. I would have never guessed it. Great set design.
Oh yeah.
Everything you see in this was created.
Yeah, I wouldn't have suspected that. I thought
they found a great location.
Yeah.
So good production design and set creation.
They'll probably get nominated.
Great.
He'll probably be nominated for director.
Yeah, depending on what happens. This is a little movie that could. Yeah. I'd be thrilled if this gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, I honestly, I'd still put Joker just in terms of it has more mass appeal,
and it's got a larger. Yeah. Here's the quirky thing about it. This is a more film lovers film.
Oh yeah,
this is, but as good as Dafoe is, Joaquin's on a whole other level.
Oh yeah, no. I don't think Joaquin. I don't think Dafoe should win.
No, and as a film, there's a message in Joker about our current situation that for me has a bit more
then people also think it's a controversy.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing.
I like it.
Closer to that, we'll get into the Oscar predictions.
If this won, I would be pleasantly shocked.
Yeah,
it's the kind of movie I would want winning.
It could. I mean, remember the year The Artist won?
Yeah.
Well, I don't forget what was up against it, but these type of films, I mean, this is a little known fact about the Oscars. They love themselves. They love themselves, like talking about Hollywood, and this is basically an homage to old Hollywood,
old school Hollywood movie making.
And so, like, it's one of those things that it could happen.
Yeah,
it very well could. Yeah, and it wouldn't not be deserving
if people didn't know Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. They could easily see this film and wonder, except for some of the visuals being so good, it looks and feels often like it's a movie that was made in the 1940s and 30s.
Yeah.
You know?
The director, I can't say them enough good stuff about the director. I think he should definitely get nominated.
Yeah, should get that attention. And the screenplay should get a nomination.
And a bunch of stuff in this will get nominated, I believe. But if you like cinema, if you love acting, go see this film.
Yep.
If you I mean, I don't think you'd be here watching this review.
Right.
If
you didn't really love movies.
If you didn't, if you saw that trailer, you would know if you were interested in this film.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're watching the review for The Lighthouse, Go see
Go
it.
see it. You're gonna enjoy it. We're not gonna do any spoilers. Just it's one of those films you can talk about though at the end because it's just fun because it lends itself to what do you think happened,
and there's multiple options you could choose from.
Yeah.
So
that it's
pick
great.
your own ending.
Definitely go see it. Also, this whole review was in black and white.
We're cool.